Welcome to Disqualified. You guys are here with your hosts, Caleb, Trevin, and Gordon. And tonight we got some stuff to talk about.
This week, a lot of stuff happened on various shows. Some, not a lot of stuff happened, but still. As always, starting off with Raw, we open with Gunther getting a bunch of "you suck" chanted at him. Because he came out debating whether he was going to apologize for his comments last week. He decided nah, he meant every word he said. And then...
Gotta stand on that,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
And then Priest comes out, looked like he's going to cut a counter promo, but just Dexon.
I really like the brawl.
That...
The brawl was really good.
Hey,
The bro.
the champ standing on business is okay.
Champ standing on business. They broke it up. Then they went to go to a backstage interview, and then Priest came out of nowhere and said, "I ain't done with you."
He said, I'm standing on business.
This
bitch.
only helps solidify for me, because we released it, because I don't know if this is going to...
It's gonna be after this.
Okay. We did a prediction video, and I said that I have Priest going over Gunther. I see Priest winning, and this helps solidify my opinion of I think they're going to try to make Damian babyface.
Oh, they're already making him babyface. He's getting babyface reactions currently, so.
Yeah. Kind of like how they internally changed Rhea to a babyface. That Judgment Day breakup's coming soon.
Oh, yes, it is. I think there's going to be a roster change, and we'll go over that when we get there.
Yeah. Next up on my notes is Ilya Dragunov versus Braun Breaker. This match cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. However, ended semi-anticlimactically as the ref threw up the medical check X for Ilya to get checked out and called off the match.
Oh, that's what that was?
Yeah.
Because he took a spear and his head clipped the apron.
Yeah. I also think it's a little bit of a work if you look at the angle. He might have still clipped it, but it was mainly shoulder contact that clipped
definitely.
it. Yeah, which is why, again, advertising our prediction video coming out, I have Braun taking against Sammy, and I actually also have Ilya being the first contender against Braun Breaker. Because these stories are going places. And if you have Sammy take it home again, those stories go nowhere.
Well, and Sammy got bigger news for himself. He's gonna be in some big pictures soon. Again.
Yeah, it's what you believe.
It's happening. It's happening.
Next up on my list
We have Punk and McIntyre being official.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fire ass segment.
That was good.
It
However,
looked like they were going to go in for a brawl.
yeah.
Well,
However,
they were holding Punk back, so yeah.
They're not the only ones involved in this little thing, as Pierce came out and announced that this match will be a special guest ref match with Seth freaking Rollins as special guest ref.
What does that bring to the table?
Someone is getting screwed.
And
Obviously.
I think it's going to be Punk getting screwed.
This is reminiscent.
I got Drew getting screwed.
This is reminiscent of the Shawn Michaels guest referee. I think it was Taker and
Special guest Shawn Michaels
yeah.
for Triple H.
I don't know who it was, but he screwed someone in like a special guest referee match. This is kind of reminiscent of that. It was like with Undertaker, Michaels. It could be.
I think it was. I have no idea.
Right.
I can't picture the opponent either.
No, so you're thinking the screw job, which was Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, but that's nothing like what's going on.
No, yeah.
Okay.
I might have these segments out of order in my notes, but because the next thing I was going to bring up after this, just to close up on that though, I am looking forward to that match, especially the shenanigans Seth's going to do as ref.
Oh wait, real quick before we move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
The first bit of news, just because it feels right bringing it up. CM Punk says that he wants to stay forever with WWE.
Which is good. And a lot of news is also coming about him and Roxanne Perez. Keep poking the bear of AJ, come on, return.
But he said that his long-term goal in the end is to take over NXT, kind of like succeed Shawn Michaels.
Oh, like as the GM.
Because
Or
that
the person that runs it.
Because that's the thing is that after CM Punk left the in-ring scene, I was actually watching a couple videos on this. He did work on a lot of backstage work still after leaving the ring stuff. So like him helping out the rising generation, I mean, he's already had a huge influence in NXT, I feel like. So him just becoming the executive over there, sort of succeeding Shawn Michaels, NXT would continue to cook as much as it has already with these rising superstars that people are like, these people can't make it to the main roster soon enough. I mean, NXT is stacked with like Trick Williams, Obafemi. We just got the call-ups of Ilya Dragunov and Braun Breaker.
Oh, their women's division is getting bolstered. They just signed Delta, Stephanie Vakur, and Julia.
Yeah. Even I brought her up earlier, the current women's champion in NXT, Roxanne Perez, is real buddy with Punk and his wife, and that's just, it goes to show that wrestling has a very large web of influence in not only the audience's life, but also the star's life of like how they can keep supporting each other.
McIntyre's gonna beat his ass.
Oh, it's going. I would not be shocked if we see someone get busted open this match.
Oh, it's going to be a brawl.
Yeah, McIntyre's gonna win that match for sure.
I think Seth is going to be a very lax ref.
You think Seth's gonna allow weapons to get brought out?
Probably.
Basically, it's like this is turning into a street fight.
Wait, so if they bring
I
out
think
weapons,
hasn't Pierce? No, it was Aldis that came out and said that this is a street fight now, right? In one tag match.
That was for RKO versus New Bloodline. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see them coming out mid-match saying, "Okay, this is no DQ."
I feel like Seth would just do that anyway. I don't think he'd make it no DQ, but he would like be like, sure, hit him with the chair.
Weapons out.
Yeah. But the next thing I was gonna bring up is the Nikki Cross VHS tape.
That was amazing.
No words from her at all either, because for some of these tapes we have had a few people say some words. No, it was just, I thought I heard some laughs in there, but watching it back, not 100% sure anymore, but she was crying and screaming and just staring off in the distance, and I was like, that's our Abigail.
could you do a promo like that?
Probably not. After some training, maybe, but
I would.
that was both mesmerizing and terrifying. It's like I wanted to look away because of how scary it was.
It was scary, but when I'm
But it was so mesmerizing, I could not look away.
I loved it as a horror fan. It was my favorite thing. It was my favorite thing about the episode, honestly.
Yup. We don't need to see it. We already. Yeah. But yeah, it was absolutely terrifying. Next up, sort of segueing into more White Six news after the match against Xavier Woods and the old Alpha Academy versus Final Testament, with Final Testament going over. The old Alpha Academy, the new Alpha Academy with Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, came out and was like, you still got a spot back with us if you want it. And Otis, with all the aura in the room, said, nah, I'm good. And a brawl ensued. And then the lights went out. And Uncle Howdy delivered one of the best Sister Abigails I have seen.
Oh, it was flawless. It was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah. The sell from Chad, too, of just basically going completely vertical on his head alone. There was probably like a 10-degree angle almost in his posture. It was like, this match gonna cook once it actually happens, if it actually happens. But man, it's good seeing someone performing the Sister Abigail again. It's been so long, and it's such a dope move.
Kissing on the forehead, yep.
Yeah.
And then we have Sheamus jumping Pete Dunne and Bronson Reed
Okay.
right before their match started.
In my notes, I have it where Sheamus gets his leg back against Pete Dunne with Bronson Reed catching strays.
Yeah. He really did catch strays. He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yep. But mate, that flip over the top rope hammering that was on Pete Dunne, I was like, dadgum.
So where do we think this is going to go from there? Do we have Pete Dunne, Sheamus, Bad Blood?
Possibly. It's weird because before Money in the Bank, all these feuds, like with Sheamus, Pete Dunne, and all them, intertwined a little bit with Brock and Ilya a little bit because Sheamus was showing his support for Ilya a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And now with the match the Intercontinental match at Money in the Bank that happened, check one of our last videos to hear all my opinions on that match and this entire title reign.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where all these rivalries go from here. Maybe they resurface once Braun wins the title at SummerSlam. It's happening. Catch me back on this episode if I'm wrong. You can put it down in the comments because engagement. If I'm wrong, yell at me in the comments. Do it. But yeah, maybe they resurface those old rivalries as soon as Braun versus Ilya gets settled, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And then my next note is Dom goes off on Liv and Spanglish.
Yeah, my note is Dom and Liv break up.
Yeah.
Because I think that Dom is turning on.
You could see it in Dom's eyes after he said it. He was like, did I have to go that hard?
I think he didn't mean to say what he said.
Because you speak a little bit of Spanish. And
I don't speak any Spanish. I am going off of what people said online.
I mean, he could be using it as like a secret ploy. To
That's what a lot of people are thinking.
Maybe help, Live at SummerSlam.
But yeah, a lot of people are saying like him sticking with Rhea sort of puts a little bit of her guard down. It's still gonna probably. It's in my list of potentially being match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it is interesting, especially because Damien actually released a statement. I forget on which social media platform, but he released a statement about like he had a workout sesh with Rhea, and he was like, "This is what my sessions have been missing." It's like just us laughing while pushing ourselves to was like this feels right again. And it's like, mate, they're obviously they're selling this breakup hard because they are friends in real life, but it's like with all the stuff that's setting up, because also Damien had a dark match on the Japan tour against Jey Uso, and they were like continuing being buddy like after Damien won in the pin, he actually offered a hand to help Jay get up. It's like, this breakup gonna be cinema.
I mean, they'll break up possibly, but I'm sure they could still be in each other's zones unless they get drafted.
Damien and Rhea are probably gonna be, if not other members of Judgment Day, joining over to keep some fragment. Those two are gonna at least be a duo with the rest of Judgment Day. Potentially bringing Liv in. Yeah. That's what, yeah. This whole story.
I think the roster change is going to be Finn, JD, Dom, Liv,
Carlito?
And Carlito.
Yeah.
And maybe Raquel Rodriguez. There's some
Big back mama.
There's some talks about her being returning soon. She had I believe it was in January or February, was diagnosed with mast cell activation, which causes painful skin flare-ups.
Oh.
And then she had one right before the Elimination Chamber match. So she's been out. There's talks about her coming back. Her and Liv were a tag team They both have history with Rhea, so I could see her also coming back to cost Rhea the match. And I could see her coming into Judgment Day as well.
What if she just beats Dom's ass? She's like, that's what you get for playing with my girl. Beats his ass.
Could also be that.
Suplex, bam. Dom gets laid out.
Yeah. This whole storyline, we brought it up in an earlier episode of like, it's a weird storyline for the women's title of like it focusing kind of on like what's a dude going to do. You went on a whole tangent about this in a previous segment.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of this being more about a discount custody of Dominic's storyline.
I don't see it as that because at the end of the day, they're not fighting for Dom. They're fighting about the championship. Dom just happens to be a nice piece that, like, to go with it because he was so close with Rhea.
I mean,
it's kind of like mind games.
They haven't had a contract signing thing, and I think that's happening Monday probably. So we get to see how much Liv mentally changes after that whole segment. How potentially berserk she gets this upcoming Monday. So these are also the last weeklies before SummerSlam, and SummerSlam is so stacked. It's sad that we have yet to get a confirmed Wyatt 6 match. Like, we only have 7 matches on the card, which I get. WWE is focusing more on quality over quantity, which is good because SummerSlam basically sort of, some people call it Mania Part 2, which is where...
It is the second biggest show of the year, I'd say, other than, like, fans for the Rumble.
Yeah, I love the Rumble more than SummerSlam, but it's like the summer's WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's like SummerSlam moving to 2 nights starting next year will do a lot of work for how stacked these storylines have gotten, especially with the call-ups that are probably going to happen.
I'm not looking forward to that. We gotta go come and watch 2 fucking nights of wrestling. Oh,
in Indianapolis, I'm trying to be there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be there.
I mean, we'll bring this up a little bit with I'm a newer fan too, sorry guys, but in NXT, the Great American Bash is also moving to a 2-parter event.
So when they do their weekly PLEs, they usually do 2-night events.
Okay.
Spring Breaking was also a 2-night event.
Gotcha.
And I believe if Halloween Havoc is not its own
Saturday thing,
it should be a
either Saturday or sometimes NXT PLEs are Sunday things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But newer fan, especially newer to NXT. Didn't know. Glad I asked.
But since we're already speaking about the NXT weekly PLEs, let's get into NXT.
Yeah.
The only note I have, because I did not catch it this week, and it is way out of order, I believe, but Oro Mensah got another 3 count on Ethan Page.
Yeah.
So
after he brought up a whole ref to be like, did that count?
Okay, I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
And
then
the ref said no, right?
Yeah. No. And then the dude came back for a little like, fine, maybe this one can count. And the ref got down on his hands and knees and 1, 2, 3. And Ethan Page did not lose the title since it was not a sanctioned match, but the fact that a ref was there to be like, no, this man can pin you.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, but I do have some notes. The show opened up with Trick Williams, Cedric Alexander, and I'm gonna butcher this, Ashante
the Adonis.
Yeah. Came out talking about doing a promo, basically arguing about what's the next step for Trick. Trick is tunnel visioned on his rematch against Ethan, and the other
should be.
Yeah, and the other two. Cedric was more like, man, you could focus on other things. Ashante was sort of the heel in the situation, being like, Trick, you washed.
No, yeah, Trick. No, he needs to get that rematch and take that title back.
Yeah, but yeah, Cedric, I feel like was playing at the thing of like, you know, you could do a lot more. Like, you held the title for a decent bit. You are still very strong. You're still a very good prospect. Maybe focus on matches that will help you maybe get to the main rosters, sort of what he was playing at or something. You already have friends up there that could put in a good word for you. And then Ashante being like, you washed, started a brawl. Cedric caught some strays, and they decided that during the show that Trick and Cedric Alexander were going to have a match. Moving on to that match cooked, and Trick took the W. Yeah.
Finally glad that Cedric is getting some screen time.
Yeah. However, after this match, Pete Dunne, doing heel Pete Dunne things, comes and attacks Trick.
I was not expecting him to look like that because when I watch the NXT shows, I'm usually editing. And I looked up to see Pete Dunne because I heard them bring him up, and I was like, I was not expecting him to look like that. But from what I was seeing, he looks fun to watch.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I'm glad
Just as little, he did the initial bump, and then, like, when Trick was down, he was just like, and went for more.
Yeah, I love his character of just being.
Going back to earlier in this show, since we sort of moshed that storyline of this episode together a little bit, before the Trick and Cedric match, we had Josh Briggs versus Brooks Jensen, no DQ.
Oh,
That match.
The man.
I caught the highlights. Oh my god.
His back was shredded. Oh,
Those welts.
Brooks had a bruise on his head too. Like, they were not holding back.
Yeah, that match was fucking brutal.
Anything wrestling is fake. Come on.
The one thing you can't fake is gravity and chair shots. You can fake them a little bit, but
Yeah, you could shave down the chairs like what they did in AEW with the Darby Allin spot.
yeah, but it still hurt.
That was
Yeah.
terrible.
I think a lot of weapon spots, like, as someone who's, like, as a person who studies swordcraft and sometimes has practice with a kendo stick, you can't really fake getting hit by a kendo stick.
Does it like snap when it hits you?
It's basically trimmed down bamboo or whatever thing it makes, so when it hits you, it hits you.
Well, especially because you can definitely hear the contact and you can hear it snap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can also see it just break apart after a while.
They're just taking that. It's nothing but sting.
Oh yeah. You've seen welts after matches. They are just terrible.
Like a match if you want to go back and watch previous matches where, like, you can see, like, that proves you cannot fake a kendo stick spot. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso Tribal Combat.
Oh yeah.
When they brought out those kendo sticks, I was like, oh
Wait,
no.
was that
Also,
one
the
that-
New Day versus the Usos in the Hell in a Cell match.
I think that was the one where they're like pinning them up with.
Yeah, they
Sticks,
pinned
right?
them
Yep.
between
Okay, I was just about to bring
the
that up.
cage
Yeah.
with the sticks, and then they just went.
Don't get me wrong, kendo sticks probably much safer than some of the chair shots. Those still hurt.
That's Cody Rhodes said. Bro got laid out by a chair.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I seen this clip on the Instagram Reels. I think it was an NXT show, but he took a chair shot to the head and he was fucking bleeding.
Oh no, that was AEW.
Yeah.
That was his AEW. That was when Shawn Spears got there.
Mm-hmm.
He debuted his chairman gimmick that night. Hit him with the chair that was also gimmicked,
Mm-hmm.
but the leg cut him. And then he looked, Shawn Spears said he looked at Brandy, and then he looked at Cody and said, oh my God.
Cody's on the ground, there's a pool of blood. Just,
He was like, I gotta get out of here.
He was probably thinking, like, I just killed the VP.
That's crazy.
But also Shawn Spears being in the no DQ match.
He wasn't in, but he was at ringside for a little bit, and Brooks actually used his specialty chair. for like the final moments, and Sean just applauding the match at the end. From ringside, it looked like he was rooting for Josh, but just seeing the brutality that Brooks has was like, you know what?
He was looking devious.
Yeah.
I agree. He was.
Yeah. Yeah, moving on to some NXT and A news before we get, or I guess these are both NXT and A news. Joe Hendry got called out by the leader of Gallus for a match during Great American Bash, which makes this NXT's first PLE TNA crossover.
Also, Joe Hendry had an NXT live show appearance. He
Yep.
did have a match on the circuit.
They're gonna be doing even more things with Joe Hendry
He's also
for
having
the
the
foreseeable
concert.
future. Yeah, fucking Joe Hendry concert. We must go see it. We must.
Yeah, so that match is gonna be it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fire.
This is
Joe,
gonna be the first
yeah.
time I actually see Joe Hendry wrestle. I only see the clips of him hamming it up in the ring, so I'm super excited.
And other NXT and A news: the 6-man tag with the Rascals versus Javon Evans, Axiom, and Frazier. Cooked. That boy Bouncy and the Rascals matched it.
Bro, Javon was hitting him with the.
Yep.
The match was good. It's just I kind of enjoyed their return match more. I don't know why, but I do like watching them. Like they're definitely one of the better parts of the shows.
Did you like it because it was a face team versus a heel team? So they actually had competing.
Possibly,
Yeah.
maybe
That was
because I
another
like
thing.
Gallus.
That was the thing with this match too. Is it was a for fun match because like
Oh yeah, it was just have fun.
Because they Axiom and them had to pick up
Javon
Bouncy
Evans,
Boy,
yeah.
Because he just
The Rascals did bring up like they kind of want the NXT titles, but they decided that for this match
they're a 3-man.
they're a 3-man. So Axiom and Frazier brought in Javon Evans, made the match definitely better, but it goes to show that. Also, some behind the scenes stuff. Axiom announced that he's competing in the speed tournament.
Yeah.
To Frazier's question mark.
Frazier and
did
the
not
Twitter
like that.
username V were going at it. They were just having fun going at each other.
This behind the scenes stuff kind of points to Axiom and Frazier potential breakup. They're still having fun in the tag circuit. They're still playing decent buddy, but they do have some arguments every once in a
Yeah,
while.
they seem to have their moments.
Yeah. So it's like I don't think the breakup's going to be soon, but it's coming.
And some more NXT news. This is leading into SmackDown, so this is where we kind of bridge that gap going to SmackDown. But the Metaphor women's team of Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend have a women's tag title match against the Witches.
Yep.
But also, so do Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. So, are you guys interested in those matches? I am. I'm really interested in them.
I am. A bunch of people commented when that match got announced. A bunch of people were commenting like, there's got to be some shenaniganry of how Bianca and Jade lose. But I feel like if you want to establish these guys and get these titles back on PLE level, like how they were with Bianca and Jade, have them win clean. They're decently over with the crowds, the Witches, like that. They were the favorites to decrowning at Clash at the Castle. They're over with the fans a little bit, I'll say it. I mean, after watching a couple of their matches, I'm starting to like them. Like, I wasn't big on what was happening on in this circuit until, these matches, these matches got brought into PLEs. They already started kind of doing that when the Kabuki Warriors had it a little bit, but still, like every division's decently stacked right now.
So what I think might happen is Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson might cost Bianca Belair and them, and then in return they might cost them, because also on that same episode of SmackDown they're gonna have a WWE Tag Team title match, and usually you don't have both sets of titles change on one night.
Yeah.
So someone is retaining their championship.
So that,
and I don't think it's going to be DIY. As much as I love them, I don't see them being the blood.
So this is an interesting segue into SmackDown. Is the Gauntlet match had Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga win to become #1 contenders against DIY.
Can we talk about Street Profits though? They ran the gauntlet. So it started off with Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews versus Berto and Angel.
Yes, it was semi-turmoil style, so it was you have 2 matches with 2 wild cards, so the 2 winners of those 2 matches fought to continue the gauntlet, kind of. I think that's how it was.
No, so it went like this. 2 teams start.
Yep.
If you get eliminated, another team comes in.
Yep.
So you just keep going until everyone gets through.
Okay.
So then after that, the Profits beat Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin. And then they faced, it was Pretty Deadly.
Yep.
And then they faced the OC, I believe.
I thought the highlight, I tried to catch it, but I ended up having to catch some highlights. I might have caught them out of order, but it was weird because someone was calling it a turmoil.
Yeah, the tag team turmoil match.
Yeah.
That's just what they called it. But so then I believe they faced the OC. Then they beat the OC. Then they faced Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu.
Real quick.
And then Jacob Fatu hit one of the best Samoan drops into.
That was the middle of the ring, right?
Mhm.
He went from the top to the middle.
No, that was the moonsault.
Oh,
that was
I'm more
amazing.
impressed by that.
Giving Tiffany Stratton a run for her money for best moonsault on SmackDown.
Like he was like at the top. Bro jumped all the way to the middle of the ring with like a very slow rotation of the flip. That was fire.
Yeah, it was like a beautiful rainbow arc.
Yeah, you can already see the dominance that's lined up for these fabulous wrestlers.
And with Hikuleo coming in, Talatanga is the name that is believed to be trademarked for him. So he will be coming in probably being called Talatanga.
Hey, I just add more guys to the team. It's just gonna solidify their dominance even more because you got a big team. Not many people are gonna be able to stop you because jumpage is a very real thing. Randy Orton.
Okay.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I have how the gauntlet went. So it went Apollo Crews eliminates Legado del Fantasma with Baron Corbin delivering an end of days. Then Street Profits take out Apollo Crews and Baron. Okay, yeah, you were right. Street Profits eliminate Pretty Deadly. Then the Good Brothers, then Bloodline comes. Yeah, so Street Profits ran out. They're making them still look strong, which is good. Cause
they need to keep them looking strong, especially after it being rumored that Bobby's leaving because his contract is up soon.
Yeah.
MVP put out a statement that made it look like he's pretty much leaving WWE. There's rumors about them going to AEW and starting up the Hurt Business again with Shelton Benjamin. And if they do, they can go with the original idea, sans one person, because Cedric Alexander's still in WWE, but they could bring Ricochet in and do that. They probably couldn't be called the Hurt Business. They'd have to come up with another name like the Pain Brigade or something like that. But
yeah. But yeah, so and you gotten me a big fan of the Street Profits, especially seeing some of their older stuff and also just how funny they are on the mic too a little bit.
They just need to put the titles on them. I think after the Bloodline wins it, Because I don't think the Usos are going to be on SmackDown.
Bro.
I think they're going to go to Raw.
Well, it's not going to be the Usos. It's going to
yeah, I
be Sami
think-
Zayn and Jey Uso.
we release. We'll get to that later.
We'll talk about that. When
We'll comment on that after this comment. I think old Bloodline goes to Raw, new Bloodline stays on SmackDown.
Mhm. And
But-
I want the Street Profits to get a tag
Gold,
run
yeah.
again. They needed another one.
Especially with their WrestleMania showing against Final Testament. That match was good and also funny. It's like I kind of like comedy duos. It's like we got a little bit hinted at that with R-Truth. There's this whole behind the scenes TikTok thing going on right now of Ciampa trying to RKO Randy. That's become a TikTok series and it's hilarious.
Yeah, because that is a refresh of what they did with the Glorious Bomb back in their NXT days with Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode would come out of a room or something, and then they would just be blasting his theme song. So then he would just look at the camera with them.
Yeah.
the first
Yeah,
show.
but-
injury.
Everything's real good. The tag division on SmackDown is getting a lot better. If only Raw can follow suit. I mean, Raw is also pretty stacked, but it's just all these storylines have been
Yeah, their tag division isn't really that good, but mainly that's because most of their tag teams are injured.
That's true also. A lot of injuries still in the business.
Oh yeah, it's a very injury heavy thing.
Yeah, but moving on through SmackDown, Waller sets up Theory to get decked by Terrence Crawford.
That was hilarious. He said, "If you take one more step towards me, my boy Austin Theory is gonna knock you out."
What a fucking
That's some
deflection.
shit that Gordon would pull. I'm telling you right now.
I would, yeah.
That's
I
some
feel
shit
that.
he would pull. If you take one more step towards me, Trigger's going to with you.
And Austin was, and it looked like Austin was gonna come up and be like, "Hey, yo, he actually started saying, I don't want any of this," and Terrence just,
Bro, he could have sold it just a little better just by laying flat. And then when he rolled out the ring, like, fucking Waller could have him and then just flops.
yeah. He was
That would
still,
have been hilarious.
like, look back at the highlights, people, but he was still rocked. Yeah. Yeah. In other news, Nia and Tiffy beat Bailey and Michin, with Bailey taking the pin.
Yeah, because they jumped Michin at the start of the match.
Mhm.
Yep.
I remember that. The Bailey came, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, Bailey came out with a kendo
Yeah.
stick to
Yeah.
even the odds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you meant to say.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
just lost your train of thought.
Michin still participated in the match. He eventually recovered, but
That's a flip.
also in a around the end of show promo that Cody did, it was confirmed that Cody versus Solo is main event Team SummerSlam, which only leads to an outburst of predictions of you know who coming
It's
back.
either Roman or Jimmy or both.
Look, it's definitely going to be Roman. It's going to be a missed opportunity if they don't, because if that match isn't fire,
Summer,
that's bad. I think it's going to be a fire match, but it would be great if Roman comes to stop maybe a jumpage, because the boys on the sideline, they're going to be coming at Cody. Cody is all alone right now. He has no one. But you know who's there? My boy Sami Zayn and Jey Uso.
okay. Now that I brought it up again, let's go on to that comment. Why do you think the tag is going to be Jay and Sami? Like, yes, we didn't bring this up on the Raw segment, but yes, they had a tag match on Raw. But it's pointing obvious that the Usos are going to get back together.
Oh, no. I'm sure they could get back together, but
I don't think
look, that tag match, you just watch it. You can see the chemistry. It's there.
They have chemistry.
Sami is about to lose his championship.
Yeah, I can kind of see where it's going. I don't think they're going to win any tag team gold.
Well,
If they
I
do-
don't think they should.
If they do, then that is a giant waste of a title run because they're just going to drop it again.
Possibly. But, yeah, like, I don't see Jimmy coming in and being Jay's partner right away. because Sammy isn't going to be there first, if you know what I mean. Sammy will eventually step away from the bloodline like problems, I believe, and that's when Jimmy can come and fill in the Usos get back together.
He's been.
Jimmy and Sammy were friends before Sammy and Jay were friends.
Well, yeah, I know, but Jimmy ain't there.
Because Jimmy's injured right now.
Exactly, but the story right now it has Sammy and Jay. That's just what's been shown on the TV. I can see it. It's getting set up. And now they don't even have to be a tag team, actually. I just think that Sami Zayn is going to come out along with Roman, possibly, with Jay.
A lot of people have been returning as honorary Usos in the War Games.
I think Sammy's going to help in the match because him and Cody are also friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is going to happen.
But I wouldn't be surprised.
I think Roman being the last surprise.
He has to be.
Yeah,
it's going to be the groundbreaking surprise.
I think me and Caleb have an agreement on this. Let Sammy get in a world title picture already.
Yes.
This Intercontinental run has been meh. I get Sammy has had some off moments in story, but like we've seen his in-ring work. We've seen like he's a powerhouse and he's over with the crowd. Let him get in the world title picture already.
Mm-hmm.
Like before you lose that overness, because a bunch of people with how meh this title run has been, he's losing a lot.
I like it. I love it so far. I just think he's a dominant individual at the moment. And it's going to be great for Braun to stop someone who is so dominant, just to solidify his greatness even more. Perfect opportunity. I think it's probably going to end. Everyone will probably look back at this with a little sourness, but behind that sourness, there's sweetness.
And then I think that wraps up our weekly.
Yeah.
I want to get into some news real quick.
Yeah.
Just before we wrap up. In AEW news, Buddy Matthews resigns, formerly known as Buddy Murphy, also Rhea Ripley's husband, if you don't know who he is. He resigns. They said it's a lucrative deal. I can see why, because he could potentially go there to WWE in the middle of this hot storyline right now and insert himself. So, I think that's a pretty smart business deal. Related to him, his stablemate, Malachi Black, and Keith Lee. He's not his stablemate, but together, both of the contracts are looking to be expiring soon. So, also on top of that, Bryan Danielson's contract is looking to be expiring soon.
Go.
August 1st, I believe, is the date that
I don't think he's coming back to the WWE.
No, he's staying in AEW.
Yeah, but, go.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
And then in WWE news, speaking of people leaving, Pat McAfee might be leaving soon for College Game Day. When that starts up, he might be leaving the commentary booth and focusing on College Game Day commentary. So I think it might be Michael Cole and Corey Graves being the Raw commentary team.
Now, could he get a Legends contract?
I think he's always welcome back.
Yes.
Okay.
But as soon as the season starts, he's going to be there.
The fact that he was a mainstay on Raw for as long as he was only goes to show, and everyone says, like, he's such a good addition. Like his,
oh, no, he definitely is.
Like his whole commentary with, like, the draw and stuff when he does, like, the play-by-plays of this current Dom and Liv storyline. Those were always hilarious. Even before it was Dom and Liv, when Becky
knocked him out.
When Becky decked Dominic and we got the slow-mo. That was hilarious.
Damn, Dominic's always getting bitched. God.
And then the last bit of news I have is unfortunate. WWE has given up on Omos internally. So I don't think they're going to continue with the big man's push, which sucks for him.
It does suck for him.
But he does have a wonderful fragrance YouTube channel. I don't know the name. Hopefully, Gordon could put it on the screen. You can't take a
asking-
screenshot?
You asking for a lot of money.
I do have a bit of news that I caught up on. But anyway, a bit of news bullet point I got is in the promotion that ZFL 2 is in, he just won gold.
Nice.
Yeah, which a bunch of people are saying, good for him. What does that mean for him getting put in WWE to help in the Bloodline stuff?
How does this affect the Browns' legacy?
Greatly. It does, actually.
Yeah, but a bunch of people are like, wait, it's either WWE's gonna make a deal with this promotion or he's not gonna be a part of this Bloodline stuff quick enough.
I don't think it's going to happen this year. I don't think he's coming in this year. I mean, he could. It could be proved wrong, and I would love to be, but...
Yeah. Yeah, it's funky. Do we want to see him? Yes, because he is an amazing performer. But that only brings a big that brings up both questions and more speculation on Bloodline Civil War games. Who gonna be there? It could be a little Shield reunion minus Dean Ambrose / John Moxley.
Then don't have it.
No, I would have Rollins over Rhodes.
If it's a 5-man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a whole video on the whole Civil War topic that's gonna get released soon.
All right. Thank you for watching Disqualified, guys. You guys are with your hosts tonight, Caleb, Trevin, Gordon. Once again, thank you for watching. Like the video. Subscribe if you're new. With Disqualified, deuces.
Thank you for giving us your time.